like when he comes up here, he doesn't want to travel with. Right, but he doesn't. There's no white. There's no TV camera. They should. See, that makes sense. But I guess when the president's got whatever, it's not for school. Right. Because he's, I mean, you can see how many times he's up here. And imagine if there was cameras. No, I really don't think. Like there'll be one, he's in Kentucky, so there'll probably be one with him, and you know, somebody will do it. And they still want that stuff. You have to be in high school to get it. Like once you're a ranger. We'll work with you. We'll come back. We'll work with you.
Hello, folks. My name is Jen. I'm the guy that's running the stream. I'm the host of the stream. Right now, we are waiting possible comments from Senate lawmakers because they're interviewing people from the Trump campaign. We're not talking about the Trump administration, but people that worked in the campaign during the 2016 presidential election. So, Senate Intelligence Committee has been conducting interviews of people linked, people that worked, and people that were associated with the Trump campaign, because somehow now they believe that they should also be involved in this whole Russia link conspiracy, the meddling in the 2016 election, all that stuff. So that's what we're waiting for now. But also, there is going to be a press conference regarding yesterday's AC-130 plane crash that happened in Mississippi. That is starting soon too, so we're going to have it on your screen. And some people from the FBI are set to speak. That's in a different place, but regarding the same thing. They're going to be speaking at, let's see, give me 1 second. They're going to be speaking at the Air Force recruiting office in Bixby. I think that's how you say Bixby, Oklahoma. So when that starts, I'll put it up on your screen, and then we'll go back to seeing if the Senate comes out and speaks regarding what's going on. And also we'll be waiting for the press conference regarding the AC-130 that went down yesterday. If you guys don't know what's going on, an AC-130 basically crashed. And I think it was, quite a few Marines died, but there's more information coming out. There is some aerial footage that is on YouTube. If you guys just look at it, 15 Marines died. And now they're trying to figure out what happened and, what's going on with that. So that's what the whole press conference is going to be about later on. So stay tuned.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Ohio Clock Corridor. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay. Sit. What do you think, 29? About 2 o'clock, 2:05. It's been running late.
All right, folks, so we'll go back to that one. Right now, what you guys see on your screen is the U.S. State Department briefing. For some reason, hold on, I think it came back. But there's also a U.S. State Department briefing coming soon, so we might go to that after this. There's so many things going on right now that we're going to see what comes up first. But right now, they said that they're going to be here within the next 15 minutes, maybe. And then after that, then if the State Department briefing is still going on, we'll go to that. And there's also the press briefing when it comes to the KC-130 that crashed in Mississippi, leaving, as of right now, they say 16 dead, 16 Marines dead. So there's quite a few things going on, so stay tuned here at Golden State Times.
I don't see Eddie down here. Okay, I mean, all right. We'll just do it from here. Because I'm getting a call from the desk. Or I can go to, you want me to go to?
So just a little update regarding the KC-130 that crashed. According to reports right now, it says that the FBI has joined the investigation for a cause in the KC-130 Marine plane crashing in Mississippi. The news comes after local news reports report that the ammo-carrying aircraft may have suffered a mid-air explosion. It says that corkscrewing to earth, so it went spiraling down, and it crashed in that field. It says this was not confirmed, however, as the crash cause remains under investigation. But as of right now, the FBI are looking into it and how it happened, why it happened, and where. If it happened in air, or if it happened as it was going down, or did the explosion happen once it hit the ground. They really don't know. They're speculating on a lot of stuff. It says at least 16 people, 15 Marines, and 1 sailor dead. It's a very awful tragedy. And it says that the plane crashed into the soybean field in the Mississippi Delta area near Greenwood. Okay, the what's it called? The press briefing is going to happen in LaFleur, Mississippi. So we're going to keep up with that. But it looks like there's soon going to be a press briefing gaggle. So we might jump on that right now and come back to these lawmakers, hopefully making possible comments. But we're going to go right now. There's going to be a press briefing gaggle. So you guys are going to, it's only audio. So stay tuned. Just really quick, I didn't see it on the chat, but thank you very much, Joshua Schmitz. Thank you very much for the super chat. It helps us immensely, especially now. This month is just ridiculous. It's been dead, so thank you very much for all your help. And like I said, there's going to be a press briefing gaggle soon, so stay tuned.
Test the microphone for the Ohio Clock. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. This is test. The Ohio Clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Test, test, test.
just so happy that he's standing there. Who's listening to music? Is that you? You have music playing from your phone.
I've heard that off and on for 15 minutes. Is it you? I like it.
You guys. No, not on the way out. Whatever. Hi, Casey. Just saying hi.
All right, folks, just a really quick update. What you guys see on your screen right now is Senate lawmakers are going to be speaking soon because they are starting to do interviews of the Trump campaign officials. Oh, here we go.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. The news of the day is that, as I think you already know, we'll be on healthcare next week. We'll be laying out a revised version of the repeal and replace effort, the text of that. On Thursday morning, we hope to have a CBO score by the beginning of the week and a motion to proceed to that bill next week. Also, due to this unprecedented level of obstruction that we've been experiencing, for example, you may have noticed we had to get cloture yesterday on a district judge in Idaho. I think as of June 28th, there were 178 presidential nominations up here and only 46 confirmed. We're getting zero cooperation on the personnel part of the Senate's portfolio, which is confirming nominations. Therefore, we will be in session the first 2 weeks of August that we had originally anticipated not being here. We will be here. We've got the defense authorization. We've got the debt ceiling. We've got the FDA user fee and other important legislation that we need to address, and we simply, as a result of all this obstructionism, don't have enough time to address all of these issues between now and the originally anticipated August recess. So we'll be here the first 2 weeks of August.
Of course, we remember the promises made when Obamacare was sold. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. That family of four would see a reduction in their premiums of $2,500, none of which is proven to be true. So based on the experience of the last 7 years, I think it's fair to say that Obamacare has been a failed experiment. And we have two choices: to try to do better, to stabilize the markets, to bring premiums down, to protect people with pre-existing conditions, and then to put Medicaid, the safety net program for the poor, on a sustainable fiscal path, or what Senator Schumer and Senate Democrats apparently believe is a better course. No reforms, no changes, just bail out insurance companies by throwing billions of dollars at them without any reform. We're not interested in that. We think we've got a better plan. We invite our Democratic colleagues to join us. Under the budget process, they have an opportunity to offer amendments to the plan. There's no restriction. So we would invite them to participate in the process to come up with a better product than failure of Obamacare, much less bailing out insurance companies by throwing billions of dollars at them, trying to prop up a failed experiment.
And the news on healthcare doesn't get any better for people in this country. There are going to be 2 million fewer people this year with insurance than had it last year. So the number of uninsured goes up. The cost continues to go up, probably a correlation there. And the highest number of people in this country in a Gallup poll now cite healthcare as being their number one economic concern, highest number since 2007. And in fact, that number's gone up 7% since Obamacare was implemented in 2013. So people are priced out of the insurance marketplace, and as a result of that, you see collapsing markets, you see skyrocketing premiums, and you see people with fewer choices and fewer options. So our goals very clearly and simply are: one, stabilize the insurance markets; two, liberate people from mandates that force them to buy insurance if they don't want and can't afford; improve affordability so that people can afford to have health insurance coverage in this country; preserve access for people who have pre-existing conditions to health care insurance; and then finally to strengthen Medicare for the people who really need it, and making sure that we don't pull the rug out from under those people who really do need it, but make it sustainable for future generations. That's really the goals that we have in this effort. It's clear that the Obamacare, as we know it today, is failing. It is a failed program, and it's the American people who deserve better, and we intend to give it to them. And that's what we plan on voting on next week.
The pain of Obamacare continues to worsen. The NBC News report points out that 2 million fewer people are insured now than at the beginning of the year. They tend to be younger people, and it's because they cannot afford the insurance under Obamacare. They cite the main reasons: higher cost, fewer choices. And with regard to fewer choices, front page USA Today, 4th of July, 1,370 counties down to single choice of insurers. That's not a marketplace, that is a monopoly. So over the 4th of July, I was home at community events at a number of hospitals, visiting with patients as well as doctors and nurses. They want a fundamental change away from Obamacare and toward freedom, and that's what we're offering. We're eliminating the mandates, the employer mandates and the individual mandates that people have to buy a government-approved product. We eliminate the taxes that raise the cost of insurance for the American public, and we lower premiums. Even the CBO says that the Republican plan would, by 2020, lower premiums by 30%. We give authority back to the states, decisions closer to home. Washington's one-size-fits-all certainly doesn't work in my home state of Wyoming. For people with pre-existing conditions, certainly they are going to continue to be covered. People up to the age of 26 staying on their parents' plan, absolutely. We know that it's a challenge. We know we have a responsibility and an obligation to get this done because the death spiral of Obamacare is upon us. The American people deserve better.
This slow process of allowing the president to take over the government also, of course, makes it harder for us to get all of our other work done. When you start by taking weeks and months to allow the president to put a cabinet in place, that means that the other nominees come at a slower rate. But the president's nominated 196 people. 23% of his nominees have been confirmed. 69% of President Obama's nominees had been confirmed by the 1st August he was in office. 10% of President Trump's nominees have been allowed to have a voice vote. 90% of President Obama's nominees were confirmed by voice vote. Not allowing the administration to take over the government is the wrong thing to do. At the current rate, if the calculation's right, it would take 11 years and 4 months to confirm the nominees that have to be confirmed by the Senate. That, of course, would not allow us to do anything else. It is unacceptable. It's outrageous. Something has to change.
To follow up on the comments that Roy and the leader have made, we've seen an unprecedented amount of obstruction when it comes to nominees for every position throughout government, whether it's a U.S. attorney position, whether it's district court judges, you name it. This obstruction has put us into a position where the right decision was made today to stay into August to make sure that we are doing the work of the American people. I think it's critically important that we do the job the American people sent us here today, and I commend the decision to make people work and overcome this unprecedented level of obstruction that we've seen.
Senator McConnell, can you address, though, you talked about doing defense, you talked about doing these nominations. You know very well if the Democrats, put these, as you call them, obstructionist tactics, you can't get off the executive calendar to do these other things. Is this really more than just a charade of running the clock a couple of weeks in August? And is this a fallback for health care if you're crossways next week in your conference?
I'm not sure I totally understand your question. We're going to do health care next week. And in the reconciliation process, of course, you get to the end. It can sometimes be as a result of exhaustion, but you can get to an end.
But you're not
and then we're going to turn to other issues, among them defense authorization, the FDA user bill, a must-pass bill to fund the FDA. We have to do a debt ceiling increase. There are other things that we have to do, and we only have a limited number of days left. So we fully intend to utilize, not to mention all of these confirmations that are backlogged, we intend to fully utilize the first 2 weeks in August.
But how many of those other issues can you legitimately get to?
We're going to do as much as we possibly can for the American people. That's what they sent us here to do.
You were briefed on intelligence reports surrounding Russian meddling back in the fall before the election. And there was a decision not to put that out in public. Now there are emails that show that Donald Trump Jr. was aware that this may have been damaging information from the Russian government. Do you regret your course of action?
What I have a lot of confidence in is the Intelligence Committee handling this whole investigation. Senator Burr and Senator Warner have ball control, and we'll hear from them later.
Do you personally have any concerns with the fact that the president's son met with a Russian lawyer in an effort to get dirt on the Clinton campaign after being told that the Russian government to help his father's campaign?
Well, I'm sure that Senator Burr and Senator Warner and their committee will take a look at all aspects of the Russian investigation.
Setting the investigation aside, though, does it make it harder for you to trust President Trump on Russia, a major adversary, when his inner circles stories about communicating Russia's?
Yeah, the investigation in the Senate is being handled by the Intelligence Committee, and I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of whatever may have happened.
But your personal trust level hasn't changed?
They'll get to the bottom of whatever may have happened.
On the debt ceiling?
On the issue of...
You mentioned the debt ceiling as potential thing. Are you wanting that vote to happen before the August recess, before you leave?
Are you talking about the debt ceiling?
The debt ceiling?
Yeah. Ideally, we would deal with the debt ceiling before the August recess.
Does it need to be tied to spending cuts in your mind?
We'll see, but the debt ceiling must be raised. Okay, thanks, everybody.
All right, folks, so the press briefing gaggle is set to start in just a few minutes. We're going to go there live so you guys can get it as soon as it starts. So don't go anywhere. The press briefing gaggle. We really don't know who's the one that's going to be hosting the press gaggle. It could be Sarah Sanders or it could be Sean Spicer. We don't know. Yesterday we thought it was going to be Sean Spicer, but it ended up being Sarah Sanders. So, you know, we'll update the picture and we'll get a better picture of Sarah. Yeah, I guess someone said it wasn't that good. But depending on who is going to be the one that's hosting the press gaggle, we're going to switch the picture over to see who it is. As of right now, we don't know if it's Sean Spicer or it could be Sarah Sanders. So stay tuned. If you guys joined us yesterday, I was explaining how the press gaggle works and how the Trump administration has changed the rules a little bit. If you don't know yet, this is a press gaggle. There is no camera and also no live streaming audio. We have to wait until the press briefing gaggle is over, and then we are allowed to stream it, broadcast it, or post it, whatever we want to do with it. So we have to wait until they are done. Once they're done, they'll release the audio, and then we can show it to you guys, stream it live or post it. So that's basically how it works. The White House restricted live streaming of any kind while the press briefing is going on. Once it's done, then it will be updated. So as of right now, they're barely finishing. I think they're going to be finished within the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then after that, then we can stream it. If anybody else is broadcasting it in any way on YouTube, it's most likely fake. Either it's yesterday's stream or it's from some other time. But it's definitely not the one from today. So be careful. So yeah, folks, as soon as they're done, they'll release the audio. We'll stream it for you here at Golden State Times. Thank you.
conservatives, and centrists have different healthcare priorities, and allowing different approaches and experimentation would be political.
Good afternoon. Before I get into the issues of today and take your questions, I first want to take a minute and acknowledge the 16 servicemen and women who lost their lives yesterday in the crash of a Marine Corps transport plane in Mississippi. As of now, the investigation into the details of the crash is still ongoing, but as the President said this morning, this is a truly heartbreaking incident. The thoughts and prayers of the entire administration are with the friends and families of the Marines who died in this tragic accident. Yesterday, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services released a report showing that half of the insurers who initially offered plans on the Obamacare exchanges have already fled the markets. I know that similar reports and announcements like these are coming out literally every day, but each of these announcements further reveal the failure of Obamacare. For the millions of American families and individuals caught in the fallout of Obamacare's collapse, these reports come as no surprise. They have been suffering the consequences of this failed law firsthand for far too long. And it's time for Senate Republicans to step up and fulfill the promise they made to those Americans by repealing and replacing it. Tomorrow, the Vice President will meet with another group of companies and individuals who have been harmed by Obamacare in Kentucky, continuing the nationwide travel he's been doing throughout this entire repeal and replace process. The President is determined to sign a bill that restores choice to the American people as soon as possible. Of course, while Republicans are working around the clock, and as Senator McConnell just announced, well into August to address some of our biggest legislative priorities, and as Mark and I both told you yesterday, Democrats are looking to set a record for pointless and dangerous obstruction. I know Mark went through some of the numbers with you yesterday, but there are just a few that I find truly astounding and would like to reiterate. While more than 90% of the previous administration's nominations were confirmed by a simple voice vote, Democrats in the Senate have allowed only approximately 10% of President Trump's nominees to be voted on in that way. As I mentioned, we're coming up on the August recess of President Trump's first term, by which point the Senate has confirmed 69% of President Obama's nominations. Less than a month out from that same point, the Senate has confirmed only approximately 23% of President Trump's nominees. These numbers show the Democrats' true colors. They're willing to play political games with the safety and security of the American economy and the American people, rather than work with this administration to solve the serious problems our nation faces. It's shameful that they are shirking the responsibility of the American people to put them in office to carry out, to protect and promote our nation and its citizens. It's well past time that Senate Democrats stop this unprecedented obstruction. And with that, I will take your questions. Kevin.
Thanks, Sarah. At what point did the President discuss with Donald Trump Jr. that meeting? Have you had a chance to get a sense of what he feels about this entire story as it continues to unfold? What's your sense on that, and then a follow-up?
I have a quick statement that I will read from the President. My son is a high-quality person, and I applaud his transparency. And beyond that, I'm going to have to refer everything on this matter to John Jr.'s counsel and outside counsel, and won't have anything else to add beyond that today.
That's your word at the end.
Yeah, at the end. I'm sorry.
And if I could follow up really quickly about the accident, how soon afterward did the President learn about what happened? What was the tick-tock in terms of that? Did he get immediate word, or did it sort of go through a certain chain of events?
I'm not sure on the exact process. I'll have to check. I know he was aware of the situation, briefed on the situation, and continuing to get updates on it. But I don't know the exact tick-tock, so I'll have to circle back with you on that, Kevin. Jill.
Sarah, given these emails, you had somebody who was identified as a Russian government lawyer, John Jr. agreeing to meet with him, being told that in those emails that the Russian government was trying to help the president win the election. Do you stand by a statement you made yesterday when you said that our position is that no one within the Trump campaign colluded in order to influence the election?
I do, and again, I don't have, beyond the statements yesterday and what I read today, I don't have anything else to add, Jill.
And when's the last time the two of them spoke, Don Jr. and the president?
I'm sorry?
Do you know when the last time the president spoke with Don Jr.?
I don't. Matthew.
Thanks. So the White House hasn't disputed any of the following, which is that the president's son, campaign chairman, and son-in-law had this meeting
with the express purpose of receiving damaging information about Hillary Clinton and with knowledge of the Russian government supporting Trump's campaign. How is that not collusion?
Once again, I know you guys are going to get tired of it today, and not to sound like a broken record, but on all questions related to this matter, I would refer you to Don Jr.'s counsel and the outside counsel.
But you're not disputing any of the facts.
I'm simply referring you to people that can answer that question, Matthew. Alex.
Sarah, in January, the president said that nobody in his campaign had been in touch with the Russians, and the White House stood by that statement. Was the president misled, or was he not truthful?
Once again, to repeat myself, I'm going to refer you to the outside counsel, and I don't have anything else to add.
Sarah, can we ask you, why were you interested in answering the questions yesterday, and why the president is not answering the questions himself, either through you or directly today?
The president.
What changed between yesterday and today?
Look, the president gave a statement on the matter, which I read to you, and like I've said, I don't have anything else to add beyond that.
Is the president still on the line that he would like the investigation under the special counsel and the committees on Capitol Hill to work as expeditiously as possible, and he wants to cooperate and wants his family members and his top aides here at the White House to cooperate?
Absolutely. That's never changed since day one. We'd love to get this matter closed and focus on the big priorities of the American people.
So by not answering questions directly himself or through you, is that in his mind expediting the investigation, or is it blocking it?
I'm not going to get into the back and forth on that, Maggie.
Sarah, when the White House says there was no collusion, what does the White House mean? What is the definition of collusion?
Again, I've said all that we're going to say on that matter, and anything further, you guys are going to have to reach out to outside counsel. April.
Sarah, the words collusion have been used. Other words have been used, obstruction of justice. I think now that's not even half of it. It could be treason or perjury. What does the White House have to say? There are new terms brought into this, new more serious terms brought into this.
I don't know how many times we'll have to address this.
I'm not asking about Don Jr. I'm asking about these words being brought into this equation that you want, this White House wants this whole investigation to be gone. There are new words now brought in.
I think those new words are ridiculous. Zeke.
Thanks, sir. Two questions for you. First, asking specifically about actions taken by White House staff in the last 72 hours.
I'm sorry, White House what?
By White House staff recently, so something that should not require you deferring to a special counsel. Can you talk about who inside the White House has been involved in your response on this? Has the president been kept in the loop, and the chief of staff, others in the administration? Are you looking into potential communications by others on the White House staff in regards to this matter or similar matters?
All of the appropriate parties have been part of that conversation and part of that discussion.
Right, sorry, and the second question, Jared Kushner has apparently forwarded this same email. Is he still? Is his security clearance still valid right now?
As always, we've never discussed the security clearance of any sort.
Sorry, just one more. Yesterday, you said you checked back to us on the status of how the president views the U.S.-Russia relationship. So you today update us, is Russia a friend or foe?
Again, I haven't had a chance to have that direct conversation. I've been a little preoccupied with other things, Major. But I will check on that, Zeke.
Policy question on Afghanistan, and then something about the statement you just read. So, has the president, through H.R. McMaster, notified the Pentagon that he is reasserting the cap of 3,900 additional troops to Afghanistan? Initially, it was reported that he had given the Pentagon and General Mattis authority to increase the troop numbers in accordance with the strategy. It's now subsequently been reported that a memo from H.R. McMaster said it's now limited at 3,900 and no more troops regardless of the strategy. Can you tell us if that's true?
I'm not aware of that specific memo, but I will check into the details of that and circle back with you. Maybe.
Can you tell us how seriously the president considered the idea of using private contractors to augment U.S. personnel on the ground in Afghanistan as opposed to U.S. military personnel?
I know that we feel it's important to get input from all perspectives, and all of the right people were part of that process throughout in any conversation. Look, we've used contractors extensively over the last 16 years. Currently, there are tens of thousands of contractors that are bravely serving alongside a lot of the U.S. military and coalition forces, and we're finalizing the review fully of the Afghanistan policy, and it only makes sense to consult those leaders in the field as well, and that's simply just part of the review process.
When you say the right people, does that include Eric Prince?
I'm sorry, I meant from our inside internally. All of the right people would be part of that process in terms of national security team.
Can you confirm if Eric Prince was part of the conversations about the contract?
I can't, but I cannot at this time, but I'll check and let you know.
Not on the president's statement, because you can talk about that, I would assume, since you read it to us. What transparency is the president applauding?
I believe the willingness on behalf of everyone within the administration or anything beyond that. I'm sorry, and anything. I know I'm trying to finish my sentence, Major. And anyone beyond that that might be asked questions, the willingness to do so and to be fully transparent and open and answer any questions through the correct process, whether that is through the special counsel or anything beyond that. Peter?
Sir, is the president aware, as he speaks about the transparency of his son, that he only released those emails after being informed that the New York Times was about to publish them?
I'm not sure, Peter. I'd have to check.
Let me ask you more broadly about what we spoke about yesterday on the topic of appropriateness in terms of campaigns. Explain to Americans who are asking this question today why it's appropriate for a presidential campaign to accept a meeting with a Russian national after being promised high-level and sensitive information presented as part of Russia and its government's support for Mr. Trump. Explain to Americans why that would be appropriate.
Again, I'm not going to get into the details of anything surrounding this, and would refer you to Don Jr.'s counsel.
Do you stand by your statement that it was?
As I mentioned earlier, I stand by everything I said yesterday. Stephen.
The vice president, through his spokesman, said today that Mr. Pence is not focused on stories about the campaign, particularly stories about the time before he joined the ticket. That's been taken by many people in this town to suggest there is a distance between the president and the vice president on this. Is there such a distance?
Not at all. There's absolutely no distance between the president and the vice president.
Do you know if the president has spoken to the vice president about this?
I don't know if they've spoken directly about this, but I know they've spoken today.
One more question. There are lots of people who would like to know why this briefing was off camera. Do you have a rationale for it?
As we've said many times before, I believe Sean stated back in December, we're always looking at different approaches and different ways to communicate the president's message and talk about the agenda. This is one of the many ways we choose to do that. Justin.
I'm going to take 2 bites at this apple as well. The first is the stock market.
Let's not break precedent.
The stock market sharply declined today on the release of the emails by Don Jr. And so I'm wondering if you're concerned that these revelations are going to impact the U.S. economy, and if you want to offer any assurances to investors that see this news and are obviously responding.
Look, the president, as he has been, not just since assuming office, but throughout the campaign, is focused on doing everything he can to strengthen and grow our economy, and that certainly hasn't changed today, nor will it at any point that he's president, Justin.
And then to go back to the statement that you read, the president says that he applauds Don Jr.'s transparency. I'm wondering if you guys would commit now to disclosing any other meetings that happened between the Russian nationals and members of the Trump campaign towards that sort of
There's nothing that I'm aware of at this time, Justin.
Yesterday, you compared the meeting to Hillary Clinton's campaign's coordination with Ukraine. Do you feel that coordinating with all countries in the world are pretty much the same? That there's no difference between Ukraine and Russia or any other country?
I think it would depend on the nature. I mean, I can't speak about theoretical or hypothetical
just take Ukraine and
situations.
Russia. Do you feel that they're equivalent?
In what way?
Well,
I mean, they're 2 very different countries. I'm not going to put them on an equivalent playing field across the board on any matter that could possibly come
Well,
up.
do you consider them both, allies, partners of the United States, or adversaries? I mean, in what way are they similar? Because
I was talking about the process, not the 2 countries. I was talking about the process that had been gone through by both sides. That was all. That was the only point I was making.
Okay, but I thought you were saying if it was okay for Hillary to coordinate with Ukraine, it should be okay, or to meet with Ukraine, or get possible information that might be relevant in the campaign. It would be equally okay to meet with Russians about information they...
I was talking about simply the process and nothing beyond that.
You still think it was okay? Put aside the issue of collusion. Is it appropriate to meet with Russians about information they might have?
As I've said earlier, I stand by the comments I made yesterday. Trey?
Thanks, Sarah. I have 2 quick questions for you. Have you spoken with the president in the past 24 hours?
Yes.
What was the general reaction to this story? Without getting into an official White House response to some of the questions earlier, did you speak with him about this story?
I think that the president is, I would say, frustrated with the process of the fact that this continues to be an issue, and he would love for us to be focused on things like Justin mentioned, the economy, on healthcare, on tax reform, on infrastructure, and that's the place that his mind is, and that's what he'd like to be discussing. John Gizzi?
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. I have 2 questions as well. Senator Rubio said this morning that the entire matter involving Donald Trump Jr. is, and I quote, Mueller territory. In other words, it should be left solely up to the special prosecutor. What's the White House reaction to that?
Again, I would refer you to the outside special counsel, and I think that's something that they could work on together.
So you have no reaction to what Senator Rubio said?
No, I don't, John.
All right. My other question is about personnel. The president has, and you pointed this out yesterday in the form you handed out, numerous judicial vacancies to fill, including 4 on the controversial Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. In an effort to speed this up, will the administration waive the blue slip process from senators and the opinion of the American Bar Association?
I don't know if those conversations have taken place about whether or not to waive that in order to expedite, but I'll be happy to check into it for you.
Sarah,
Olivier?
Thanks. I have 3, but I'll try to be quick.
3?
Secretary Mattis said about a month ago that you guys would be rolling out the new Afghanistan strategy by mid-July. Does that still hold?
I know that the plan is to roll that out after there's been a full review process, and I don't have anything beyond that at this point. I know they'd like to do that soon.
Okay, you don't have anything beyond that. Be that as it may, what role does the president see for himself in terms of explaining the strategy to the American people? Does he plan a primetime address? Does he plan a press conference? Does he plan a national tour? How implicated do you think he will be in selling the new strategy to the public?
I think those things will be determined once the new strategy is finalized.
Last one. Whose decision was it to provide relatively limited answers today to the Don Jr. Questions? Is it a lawyer? Did the White House counsel instruct you not to do this? Is it a communications decision? Who made that decision?
The appropriate parties were part of the conversation. That decision was made internally. Jordan?
Thanks, Sarah. The administration missed this deadline to make a decision on steel tariffs. Can you give us an update on where that decision stands? Can we expect a decision this week?
Yeah, the report and any recommendations within that report are going through a normal interagency review process, and as soon as that's completed, that'll be released, hopefully in short order.
Is there a reason the deadline?
Look, this is a self-imposed deadline, and they're working to get it through the final review process as quickly as possible. John?
Thanks a lot, Sarah. In the conversation that you had with the president, did he give an indication to you that these stories that we see come out day after day in the New York Times specifically are in any way self-inflicted? After all, it's the meeting that Don Jr. had with this Russian lawyer that has precipitated all of this.
No, and I think the president's made it pretty clear his position on this entire process.
When you have that conversation with the president, do you ask him, just so you can speak with us and inform us, do you say, what was the nature, from your understanding, Mr. President, about the conversation that your son and these other 2 individuals had with this Russian lawyer?
I didn't have that type of conversation. The conversations I have are, the goal is to get information that I can best communicate to you guys, whether it's on healthcare or infrastructure or tax reform or any other matter. The way those conversations play out are going to vary from topic to topic. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
On sanctions, I wanted to ask, is the White House suggesting or asking for new language to insert kind of a tweak to give the president the waivers, the national security waivers that you're seeking, or is the White House wanting to see the bill canceled altogether or killed altogether?
As I said yesterday, the president's committed to maintaining the existing sanctions against Russia until Moscow reverses the aggressive actions against Ukraine that triggered the sanctions. And President Trump reaffirmed this position at the G20 last Friday. But this is more about foreign policy and having the flexibility to negotiate with other countries. And this includes working with allies and partners to present a united front to common foes. And we remain committed to working with Congress on those issues.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah. Thank you. With the sorry,
you just approached my question.
I'm sorry.
Can you call on me next, Sarah?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. With Mosul now in Iraqi hands, does the president have a strategy for the future of Iraq, for U.S. involvement in Iraq?
Those are continued conversations, and as we have announcements on it, we'll let you guys know.
Thanks, Sarah. Sarah, I'm gonna take this one.
I promised I'd come to him next.
Is President Trump now aware of the Russian government effort to influence the campaign in his favor?
I'm sorry?
Is the president now aware of the Russian government effort to influence the campaign in his favor?
Again, I'm not going to answer any questions on that matter.
And a follow up on that. Yesterday, you were asked when the president learned of the Donald Jr. meeting, and your response was, "I believe in the last couple of days is my understanding." Is there any reason that we should think that answer would change today? Have you learned anything new that would change your response there?
No, I haven't. Thanks, guys, so much.
What about a comment on Jared Kushner or Plumlee?
All right, folks. So that was Sarah Sanders. Thank you very much for watching and choosing us as your stream of choice. It wasn't that long today, but there was so many questions, stupid questions regarding Don Jr. and him meeting up with a lawyer and how supposedly that lawyer was going to give him some intel on Hillary Clinton. It's just blown out of proportion. And they are making stuff out of nothing. So, like I said, thank you very much for joining us. If you are new to the community, subscribe. We stream everything that has to do with the Trump administration, with politics and everything that goes on a daily basis. We're going to start our daily news broadcast at 1 p.m., which is in exactly 45 minutes. So we're going to shut down for a little bit. We're going to get some stuff ready. And we're going to do our news broadcast starting at 1 p.m., which is in around 45 minutes, like I said. And we'll go from there so you guys can stay up to date on everything that is going on, breaking news, developing news, all that stuff. The issue with the A-130 plane that came down, or the C-130 plane that came down, I'm sorry, and all that other stuff. And so we'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Like I said, if you're new, subscribe, and we hope that you guys join us on the stream. Peace.